I want to know what you guys think about the future of California. Do you see any sort of change coming in the future? Do you think events like this are going to, because I've seen a lot of, I think we all noticed it's skewed a little bit liberal, this event. But you also saw a lot of those liberals being exposed to people like Ann Coulter speaking today, Ben, Larry, Barak. So do you see any kind of change coming for California?
I always say I have a two-step plan for California. Keep the illegal aliens, deport the liberals. I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question. You look at the registration; it's almost 3-1 now, Democrat versus Republicans. We have porous borders. We're giving illegal aliens the right to get driver's licenses, to get in-state tuition, to obviously enroll in college, to actually practice law in California. This is a left-wing state, the most left-wing state in the union, even more left-wing than Massachusetts. There isn't a single Republican elected statewide. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Do you?
No, and this is why my actual plan is to buy desert land out in the Mojave, and then there's a San Andreas fault line. You all saw the movie Superman, and if a missile hits right in the right place, then all of that becomes waterfront property. But aside from that, no, there is. Okay, so there's the short-term plan and the long-term plan. One is that the short-term plan is people have a miraculous awakening and realize everything they've been doing for the last 1,000 years is awful. And by the way, I don't think that is completely out of the realm of possibility if the crime rates continue to rise. Because you will see Republicans elected in heavy Democrat areas if crime gets bad enough, right? Rudy Giuliani won in New York with terrible crime because the city had turned into a crap hole. You could see the same thing happen in California. I told Neil Kashkari to run on crime, and he didn't do it. It wouldn't help him that much, but it would help him a little bit. And so that would actually help because crime rates are headed the wrong way. But the long-term plan is that liberals are like locusts, leftists are like locusts. They go to all the nice right-wing areas, and then they prey on the fact that they're economically viable, and they proceed to bring all of their crappy values and destroy those areas, and then the right wing moves into increasingly less nice territory. So California used to be a red state, then everybody moved to Texas, which is hotter and more humid and has less waterfront. And then they will eventually move to Montana, and they'll follow us up to Montana. Eventually, it'll be like a crop circle. Eventually, we'll come back around to California because it will be completely bereft and deserted, and Republicans will reoccupy California again. But I'll be 80 by that point. But there's not a lot of hope.
So there's hope.
Exactly. Well, have you ever seen those depressive posters that people put these optimistic posters up on their walls all the time at offices? And so they have these depressive posters. And my favorite one is there's one that shows a picture of a sinking ship, and it says pessimism. Perhaps your life was only lived to serve as warning to others. That's California.
Yeah, my personal thought on this as to the future of California is that I agree with both of them. Nothing will change except if there is a crisis. And that is true for all of our lives, right? When you think about it, nothing really changes in your life unless there's a crisis that demands you to change. And that may be the crime rate that Ben was just talking about. And I fear for California for the exact same reasons, and also think that there's that cycle that Ben was just talking about. Well, listen, I think that's all the time we have, and I want to thank Ben Shapiro and Larry Elder for being part of this. All right. Thank you. Stick around.